The Canon R6 Mark III is here. Is it a worthy upgrade or is it just another spec bump? We're going to be putting this camera through its paces today, testing video, low light, autofocus, you name it. Alongside, we'll be testing the new 45 1.2 STM lens. Let's get into it. One of the huge differences we're seeing with the R6 Mark III compared to the Mark II is video upgrades. This has got a 32.5 megapixel sensor, the exact same one as the brand new C50, and this thing can shoot 7K open gate, so it's an absolute beast when it comes to video. We're going to shoot in 100p here, 4KD in log, and then also we're going to switch to tracking autofocus. Flexible area 1. So all I can see is subject detection is working really well so far. The footage is looking real nice. So we've got an ND on here and we're shooting at 1.2. So this is a real challenging aperture for the autofocus, but it seems to be tracking perfectly on this gen here. Let me just change the setting to, so now I'll go menu, whole area autofocus. So now we're going to be using the whole autofocus to track this gen's face here. And it's following his face no matter where he places himself in the frame, whether he's coming foreground or background, it's holding really well.
An autofocus test wouldn't be complete without some low-light shots. So I've come up to hyperkarting in Moore Park to shoot some go-karts going around this crazy track.
So far it's been performing pretty solidly. The autofocus drops a little bit when we're in video modes, but photo mode seems to be pretty much bang on. One thing I have noticed though is that for some reason the sensor on the viewfinder is really sensitive. So often when it gets dark, it almost struggles to figure out whether I'm actually looking through or I'm looking through the screen. But so far I'm pretty impressed. We've been shooting a mixture of sort of 4K, 120 and also 7K. So hopefully you can sort of see the difference in quality and dynamic range.
One thing you'll need to be wary of is if you want to shoot in 120 frames per second, you'll need to change your color encoding system from PAL to NTSC. Although you may still experience flicker from the lights in your shooting environment, especially if they're not studio lights. As you can see, these fluorescent downlights are running off a 230 volt 50 Hz frequency power circuit. When it comes to production workflow, Canon has included a much needed feature, proxy files. As you start using the full 7K RAW sensor, you're going to want to use these proxies to speed up your workflow.
One feature I'm happy to see in this camera is the CFexpress Type B and SD slot. So the previous model was just dual SD, but this one now holds the CFexpress. Now, the reason for that, if you're shooting 7K open gate or you're doing any high burst modes, using a CFexpress Type B card is going to make your life so much easier. Not only is it going to allow for those high speeds in camera, but also when you come to offload, it offloads sort of 10 times faster than the fastest SD cards. So your life is going to be so much easier using a CFexpress Type B card. On first impressions, this lens is amazing. That 1.2 aperture looks beautiful. So if you're shooting with an ND outside, make sure you make use of that 1.2 because it really drops the separation. Also 45 is such a nice focal range. I feel like it's not too tight, it's not too wide. Achieving a 1.2 aperture is amazing. There isn't really any other Canon lenses that are offering that at the moment, and that has always been one sort of downside to Canon's lenses is they are expensive. But this for $800, an absolute bargain. I mean, I'm extremely impressed with how this one's performing. Whilst this camera's got so many great video upgrades, it also has awesome photo upgrades too. One of being pre-continuous shooting. So if you're a wildlife photographer or a sports photographer, you can get half a second of pre-continuous shooting here, which if you're shooting at 40 frames per second, gives you 20 frames to, react in time to capture your bird or your sports player or whatever you're shooting.
Let's delve deeper into this 40 frames per second shutter and see how it performs with these players. To help the high burst mode, I'm changing from flexible to whole area to maximize the use of all the focus points. And this is where that CFexpress Type B card really earns its keep, letting you shoot bursts, RAW and JPEG at full speed without buffer slowdowns. I'm also making sure that my shutter is switched from mechanical to electronic.
That's quick. 40 FPS is quick. That electronic shutter is firing. Sorry, Mitch, you're gonna have so many pictures to go through here. Yeah, so this is shooting RAW and JPEG, and it seems to be transferring really well, even on a V60 card. But yeah, listen to this shutter quickly. Damn, it's like a machine gun. We've chucked the 70-200 on here now, so we can do some long range shots and see how the autofocus holds up here. I'm expecting it to do pretty well, to be honest. It's been performing amazingly so far. And we've got that electronic shutter on 40 FPS, so let's see how it goes. That autofocus is still holding really well, as you can see there. It's working overtime, and it seems to hold on all of those shots on the electronic as well. This is awesome, man. I think this is going to be a game changer in the hybrid space. You can also shoot pre-continuous in video, which gives you 3 to 5 seconds, and you can choose that, and you can shoot that in 4K 120 FPS. I'm about to get a shot around this corner over here, and I think it's the perfect time to test out the pre-recording setting. So I'm going to set it to 5 seconds. So it basically means as soon as I click record, it's going to record the prior 5 seconds, so I don't miss anyone coming around that corner. So let's see how it turns out. When comparing the form factor between the Mark II and the Mark III, it is literally identical. So if you've got cages or any accessories for your Mark II and you're going to the Mark III, they will all be compatible. One of the big downsides with the R6 Mark II was the video. Some people didn't think it quite achieved what it should. So Canon have really gone in on the video on this one. And from what I've shot so far, it looks amazing. And also being able to shoot 7K open gate in a hybrid at this price point is amazing. Another neat feature for video shooters is the full HDMI port. The previous model used the mini HDMIs, which are generally less tough. They snap quite easy. So having a full HDMI, it's going to be more durable. It also gives you more stable transfer speeds. So if you're shooting 7K or you want to record externally, you've got better speeds through that full HDMI port.
One neat feature Canon has brought over from their cinema line is this integrated tally lamp, which can be useful when you're running a multicam production.
Still that nice, comfortable size. It's got a couple of new sort of markings on the buttons, but overall, it's literally identical. That's everything, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this video gave you a bit of insight on the new camera and whether it's a worthy upgrade. Personally, I think it is. If you want to read more about the camera, we'll have a blog in the description below. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next video.